What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to the Pentagon Challenge episode. Well, this is episode 33, but if you watched previous episode 32, well, you missed a series. Basically, you missed kind of a transitional period in this series whereby I went to Cameroon for the African Cup of Nations, won the tournament, and now I am here at Chivas now. Chivas. Chivas are a Mexican Premier League side. They have a fantastic history in Mexico themselves. They're a very they've won the Mexican Premier League title 14 times. However, they're a club that are stricken by financial hardship. They have a fantastic youth academy, but the finances are going to be the main battle here. Here is the my squad that I have. I'm going to go through all these players in a little bit of detail just a little bit later on in this episode, but to give you an idea, as you can see, there's a few old players here, but for the most part it's a fairly youngish squad. And the thing that makes Chivas very unique is the fact that it has a fantastic youth system. If I show you their youth team, there's 4 very young players here. I've actually promoted a few to the first team who I want to be playing first team football for us, the likes of Antonio Balderas, who is a young right winger. These are the kind of players who I want to bring into the squad, get in first team football immediately, and really, press forward. So Chivas, financially tough club, and a fantastic youth academy. Looking at the money side of things, you can see that we currently have minus £7 million, projected to come out with minus 10 million. My main aim here is to really get some financial stability into the club. I've already managed to offload a few players who will be going out in June when the transfer window reopens. This season, we're currently finding ourselves in 14th, but this really doesn't say a lot, and I'm going to try and explain this, but bear with me here. So, the Mexican Football League has a very unique system, and it's a system which I still don't fully understand. So if I say something wrong and you know better, leave it in the comments. I've literally been reading there's like a Wikipedia passage about the Mexican football system, which I've been reading, and I still don't really get it. But basically, there's two seasons a calendar year. There's the opening season and the closing season. And in each season, you play every team once. So, we've already played the opening season. That is played from September to December. And as you can see here, 17 games played. San Luis finished first. But then from this, the opening stage, you then have your quarterfinals. You then have your semi-finals, and then you then have your final, which San Luis won this most recently. Now, I don't know what that means in terms of continental competition, because I've not had a chance to really work it out. But as you can see, for the opening season this calendar year, we finished third. But this year, the closing season, which is the second season of the year, are you following me here? Hopefully you are. We find ourselves in 14th after 7 games. So there's 10 games left. We are 14th. And what happens is that after every team's played each other once, the top 8 teams go into a seeded knockout tournament whereby if you finish first, you're always going to play the lowest seeded team in the next round, and so on and so forth. So hopefully I've explained the league system okay for you guys there. It's very confusing, but essentially there's 2 seasons a year, and you play each team once, and then there's a knockout tournament between the top 8 teams. The way the team who goes down is decided is through an average position table, which can be seen here. So basically, the average amount of points you've got from the previous 3 years are taken into consideration, and whoever has the lowest points per game is relegated, which I still don't get really why you'd do it like that, but that is the way it's set up in this league. Just looking at us, we are in 5th, as you can see, 36 points in 2018, 2019, that's this year. And then the previous 2 seasons, 59, 58 points respectively. 92 games played, so add these together, divide them by 92, you get 1.66, and so we're 5th. Now, this average points table, the fact we're 5th means nothing, it's just the fact we're not bottom that means something. So yeah, that is the Mexican football system briefly. I still don't understand the continental qualification, because you can qualify for the North America Champions League and the South America Champions League, I think. Or at least you can play in the South American continental competitions. If someone can explain this to me, it would be really, really appreciated. But anyway, looking at the fixtures, in terms of dates, obviously the First Division Open season, that's the first season of the year, which is September to December, has already been played, and we got knocked out in the quarterfinals of that, having come third in the league phase, knocked out in the first round of the knockout phase of the remaining 8 teams. Then you have your Mexican Cup team, which is basically your there's 2 Mexican Cups. There's the opening and there's the closing, I think. Don't quote me on this because I don't really get it. There's the Mexican Cup, which we also lost in. There's the first. So there's the Mexican Cup. Oh god, this is so confusing. The Mexican Cup is like the equivalent of the League Cup, and it's played at the first half of the season, and it has the same format as the Champions League with a group stage, but I believe only the top team goes up in each group. See, this is so mindfuckery. Yeah, okay, the top team in each group goes up. You've then got the Copa Libertadores Group C, which is a continental competition. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling this is the equivalent of the UEFA Cup. Again, if someone knows, please let me know. So that is the UEFA Cup that we're in. It's like not the main continental competition, but it's the second in line one, kind of for the lesser teams. And it's a South American one. Now, I know that you can qualify for the North American Champions League in Mexico. I just don't know how. And then we have the... Well, that's everything, actually. That is everything in a nutshell, I think. Oh, my gosh. This is so confusing. I hope you guys managed to follow that. I think I did an horrific job of explaining it. If you really want to understand it in detail, go read up on it. I think my aim is just going to be to win as many games as I can, and then we'll see where we finish and what we qualify for. So anyway, as I said in the league, we are currently 14th with 10 games remaining of this 17-game season. A little bit disappointing. However, we are in the Copa Libertadores group stage. We won our first game, which I did actually play before doing this. And we won 3-0 against Barcelona, Ecuador, or the Ecuadorian Barcelona. So that's where we are in terms of domestic competitions. We are in the Copa Libertadores, and we're in the closing season of the Mexican First Division, which is the second one of the year. My gosh, this is such a mindfuck. So anyway, that's where we are now. I think my plan is going to be to play through to the end of the season, which is on the 20th of April, and then the Copa Libertadores group stage will be done, and we'll know whether or not we're advancing in that. So obviously that's quite a few games ahead, but I just think get the season underway, get it over and done with, because we're not going to finish very high. The board have already said they're not going to judge me on the league final position. Financially, we're currently spending 30 grand over the wage budget. As I said, I've already got in the process of offloading a lot of players. I need to get some new staff members in, but there's quite a lot to do here, because it's going to be a lot about balancing the books, utilising the youth academy that we have, and then really kind of, I guess, developing the club. And it's going to be a long-term, a few season project at least, this whole thing. So anyway, let's have a quick look over the first 11 that I've been playing with. I should probably start off by showing you the tactics. I'm running a 5-3-2 with wing-backs and an attacking philosophy. The club had really good wing-backs, which is pretty unusual, and 3 very solid centre defenders, so it made sense to utilise these players to the best of their ability. So in goal we have Jario Garcia, good regen keeper, Mexican under-20 player, probably going to be the national keeper before too long. Pretty decent goalkeeper for this level, and he's a fine example of what I need to do, because there's a lot of players in this squad on £20,000 a week or more. My primary aim as manager is to balance off the books, so what I'm looking to do is sell on the good youth prospects who are on excessive wages, such as, you know, 20 grand a week and more, who aren't key to the game. So maybe they're a good first team player, but they're not a key first team player. Sell them on for money, get us into the black rather than being in the red financially, and then look to build from there. So this kind of player on £10,000 a week is the kind of player that I want to be keeping, you know, players who aren't getting paid too much and who are key to the squad. Anyway, at centre-back we have Luis Solorio. Okay, we're doing the classic Jack, sound out the names. We have Christian Alvarez. Yeah, Christian Alvarez. He is currently transfer listed. He is going to be going out before too long. Just because I need to get some money in the, I guess, away, and he's getting paid £14,000 a week, which is a lot of money for a player who isn't really the best centre-back in the club. We then have Jonathan Lacedra. We'll go with that. He's a 32-year-old centre-back on very big wages, but he is a very good centre-back for the club. His contract runs out at the end of next year, so I'm probably just going to keep him on for that. He'll be coming on 34 by that time, and I guess that'll be a good time to, I guess, see him off and get him off the wage budget, but he'll be good here for the next year, I think. Right back and left back, we have two very good wingers. We have Jairo Herrera, who is a 23-year-old right back, the club's top paid player. However, this guy is a very quality player. He's valued at £5 million almost. I'm going to try and get in the region of £8 million for him if I can, if not a tiny bit more, and really look to, I don't know, he's the kind of player who I'd normally look to keep as much as I can. However, I feel as if I can get rid of him, it'll do more good than harm, if that makes sense. So one of those ones, take one for the team, get rid of potentially the club's best player, but it'll work. It'll be a long-term kind of, I guess. We'll see the benefits in the long term. We then have Miguel Angel Ponce. I don't know, but this guy's a left back on very big wages as well, and he's 29, a player who I may well look to get out of the club in the summer. There is going to be a lot of changes in and out, I hope, assuming I can get rid of these players for cash. And in the centre of the park we have three very solid midfielders in Vallejo, who is a good young regen defensive midfielder, good player again, the kind of player on his wages who I will look to keep at the club. Good all-round player, good defensive qualities, nice 15 tackling and 14 marking. Very good holding midfielder. We then have Pinon, who is a 27-year-old playmaker, a good kind of player going forward. Good speed, good creativity, good attacking, good technical ability. Perhaps a winger in the future. The current system with the 5 at the back is more using what I've got. However, I am going to be looking over time to shape the club and probably change up the formation to something that makes more of a use of the midfield. The final midfielder we have is Xavier Benez, who is another very old player. This guy is on £18,000 a week, another player who I may well look to oust from the club in the near future. He's got 2 years left on his current deal. At £18,000 a week, he is getting paid well too much. This club is very much going to be about getting rid of the old and in with the new regen players on lowerish wage demands, and then really kind of building up a squad around them. Then up front we have two very good players. We have Isaac Acuna, whose 3-star rating really doesn't do him justice. Very good USA striker. Nothing too crazy, but in his first game he got 2 goals for us. At his value and his current age, I may well look to sell him at the end of the year. This is going to be something that has to happen. I have to be brutal and get rid of players who, I don't know, who have money in them while I can, because the club's financial problems are fairly big, and it's going to be a case of getting them sorted and then using the young players that are coming up through the ranks as a long-term kind of replacement for these players. We then have Osvaldo Zuniga, who is a really good player in the air, a good target man. He's very young as well. I brought him in because of his aerial presence and because I like to play with a target man, especially when I'm playing something like a 5-3-2, because very often with 3 in midfield you don't really want to utilise them too much, and there's going to be a lot of direct balls that just get pumped up to the top men. And so having a guy who can win the ball in the air is very important, and this guy really suits that role. So that is the basis of the first 11. This is going to be an interesting project at Chivas. Looking forward to hearing your guys' opinions on this. Have I made a good move? Hopefully you guys, I guess, like the fact I've gone to an obscure league again. Perhaps a league that you wouldn't associate like with Football Manager playthroughs, because that's something that I really kind of enjoy with the Pentagon Challenge. I'm able to do stuff different. Same with the African Cup of Nations playthrough as well with Cameroon. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. Next episode will probably be in the summertime, just looking back at the end of the season stuff. I don't feel too attached to this club yet, so I probably won't go into too much detail when it comes to the fixtures. However, it's just a case of getting to the end of the season, raising some money, balancing the books, and trying to get in some young regens into the squad. So yeah guys, Chivas, something new. Big new adventure, I guess. If you enjoyed the video, as always, give it a cheeky like, leave a comment, maybe explain the Mexican League to me if you understand, and if I've confused you, maybe leave a comment having a go at me for explaining it horrifically, because I didn't do a very good job. But no guys, thanks for watching as always. It's me, Jack, and I'm out. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.